How to start a new residential drawing in Revit. We're going to work in Imperial. So we go up to the big R, pick New Project. It's all about choosing the best template. There's a few selections on the drop down, but if you browse, notice that we're in US Imperial. We want to do residential, so we're going to work in Imperial, and there is a residential template. It has more of the common parts already loaded to the file, so it's a good template to use. So we select that and say open. It shows us here we're using the residential default as a project, and say OK. Alright, takes us into the first floor, and you can see it's got some floor plans set up, or plan views already set up. Basically these are all related to the spot elevations that are in the drawing. There are some that we will use for drawings and others that are just references for Revit. So first floor, they've got the electrical separated out, and I'll show you what that does later on. We've got a second floor and a basement. So it's set up nicely. We may rephrase how we title these, like top of footing. I like a T/O, and I'll show you that later. We'll fix up the spot elevations. It's got some ceiling plans, reflected ceiling plans. Whether we use those or not, you can close them up if you want. Sometimes people get these mixed up for the horizontal views, the regular floor plans, and so if you're getting confused with the ceiling plans, selecting those rather than the floor plans, you can just close them up. We've got a 3D view set up. There's nothing in the drawing, nothing to look at right now. And it's got the building elevations set up based on Project North that this drawing is set for, which we can edit as needed, but it's nice it's started up. We don't have any section views in yet, but it will self-populate once we put in a section view. If we skip down schedules, it's got some standard schedules, which again we can edit. And sheets, it's got our drawing names, and we can control our title blocks that go in there, but these are all the drawings that are currently set, again, which we can modify. As far as families that are loaded, we've got quite a few families loaded. We will have to load a lot more, but for doors, for example, there's 4 types here, whereas in a standard construction default Revit file it might only have 1 or 2. Same with windows. We've got a few windows in here which we'll have to add more to, but for starting from a blank file, it's fairly good. What we want to do is initially we need to control the spot elevations. So we have to have an idea of what spot elevations we're going to need, both for the working drawings and also for Revit constructability. Of course, in a plan view you can't see the spot elevations. These symbols here, these are our 4 exterior elevation icons, and that lists here. If we go to the south elevation, that would be here. North is up on the page. If I go to the south elevation, now we can see what spot elevations are in, and you can see that they're tied into the names that you see here, most of the names. So we've got our top of roof, which I would rename that to top of wall. Top of second wall is what I would just keep it short, but we're going to have to, I want a top of second floor wall. Then we've got our second floor subfloor. This one I would rename to top of second subfloor. So when I do that, top of, and I'm going to use the number 2 just to keep it short and call it subfloor, FLR, top of second subfloor. Now it asked me if I'd like to rename corresponding views. These are the corresponding views over here. So I would like it to read as top of, so T/O as a spot elevation, but I don't want it to change the second floor name here. So I'm going to just say no to that. So top of second floor spot elevation is this view, second floor. We've just got 2 names, one for the working drawing as a spot elevation and one for a drawing title. We can go down and do the rest like that. So same, first floor, top of, I'm going to call it main. I like main floor rather than first, and still subfloor. Enter, and would I like to rename? I'm going to say no. There. So top of main floor, top of second subfloor, top of second wall. We can add a top of main wall if we want later. That we can edit, but for now I'm not going to worry about the rest of these. We can adjust those later as well. This foundation, I would call that top of, and I'm going to go short foundation wall. And say again no. Basement, I don't, basement's good for basement plan, but I'm going to say top of slab as a spot elevation. Nope. And top of footing I like, I just don't like the T.O. I'd rather do T/O. Top of footing, and that one we can say yes, we can change that because it, so you see here that T.O footing, this was a corresponding view title. Now I said yes to that one, so it agrees with what I changed. The other ones, for example, basement is top of slab. So we have to pay attention to what we would like things to read as a spot elevation versus a drawing title. Bottom of footing, I like underside better than bottom of, so U/S. Underside of footing. And that one, sure, we can, because it's not going to be a floor plan drawing title, so we don't have to worry about it. Now the next thing you might notice is that the spot elevation's main floor, I'm going to just, if you click on a spot elevation, you look for the little break line, it allows you to drag it down out of the way so that your text doesn't override each other. So you can see main floor, we've got it 0 feet. And you know for an architectural drawing that that's supposed to be 100 feet. And the reason we do that then is that we would have no negatives in our spot elevations. So it's a simple move. Rather than retyping in 100 feet here to move the spot elevation, I'm just going to back out and I'm just going to do a crossing window, pick every spot elevation, and then I'm going to move it 100 feet straight up. So make sure your cursor is going straight up, type in 100, and 100 is all you have to type because feet is the default units. If you want to type in inches, you have to use the inch quotes mark. So 100 feet straight up. So they disappeared off my screen because what's happened in the three-dimensional space is we've taken it from 0 feet all the way up 100 feet from there, and now our main floor is sitting at 100 feet.